talking about evaluation about what you're doing, the what if. What if I cover the cables? What if I block open the doorway? You know, it's a fire door. Can you block open or block close fire doors? No, you can't. They're supposed to close, not be locked, so that if there is a fire, the smoke doesn't, you know, infiltrate the entire building. So you can't block them or lock them closed, nor leave them open. So
block the 4-foot lane. You shouldn't, but there's been times where the AHJ, if you have taken due diligence by this piece of equipment that might be in the way because a large enough studio couldn't be rented, and they built the sets right up to the 4-foot lane with a window where you're supposed to put the light. Okay? And so there are times when the studios have had the fire safety officer, and there has to be somebody standing next to that fire watch. It's not technically a fire watch, but it's, for all intents and purposes, it is. Emergency happens, their job is to move it out of the way. Okay? So, yeah.
You might want to explain fire safety just pulled out.
No.
Fire safety officer, and you know, there's not a requirement for them here, so that's terminology that's used.
Is it not?
yeah, there are buddies back in LA. The fire safety officer, a retired or working fire officer who is there to make sure cables are covered, there's no electrical dangers. They are usually the AHJ, the authority having jurisdiction. And they can shut down a show in a heartbeat. They're sometimes the gaffer's best friend if they're going into long, stupid hours. And you just go to the fire officer and just say, you know, we're going into hour 15. It's unsafe. There you go. You'll be going home soon. But they are there to make you safe. They can also be the bane of your existence if you're a Best Boy Electric at times, because they will bust your chops, and you can do everything to make them happy, and it's still not enough. It's kind of like being married in my particular household. But
The other one, which is.
oh, okay.
You guys use the one at the.
Well, hey, we'll do this one. Oh,
okay. Oh, hey.
okay. Well, continuing on that. Oh, this is a nice one. The FSO is not always required, though, in LA. Now, you can have a permit to fill out, and if you make sure everything's good, all the doorways are not blocked, cables are covered, and all of that, you don't have to have an FSO on set. But someone from the permit office will come by and check it during the course of the day. And if it isn't filled out correctly, or if you say no on this, why is it a no and why hasn't it been fixed? They may say, time out, you're shut down until we can assign you an FSO. And you go, oh, geez, we're going to sit around for a while until they get there. It might be 3, 4, 5 hours. So you're playing a lot of poker with the Teamsters, which is dangerous in itself. But so ask if your program is working. Now, the other thing, is it difficult in our industry? Is it difficult to be safe? No. No. It's not difficult. It can be costly. And then you say, well, how much is it going to cost to be safe? And that brings up how to budget for safety. How much is this going to cost me to be safe? Well, you ask, how long is a piece of string? You know, it can be any number of variables. And so this list that Matt has over there, which I just saw for the first time today, but it's a similar format to what I use on my own shows, gives you a rough idea of how you can budget for certain things. You're obviously not going to get all of them, and Matt will detail that.
Yeah, I just wanted to hit this just to give you an overview, and we'll put it back over there on the table. But this is production safety projected costs for different types of work. So environmental remediation, asbestos and lead, what a technician's hourly rate would be, $80 to $90 for example. The lab analysis, the assessment, the labor per man hour, materials, sampling, disposal, and then it gets into engineering costs, structural, mechanical, safety and health consultation, what a professional would cost per hour, hygienists, and then it gets into some of the PPE costs of some of the stuff that's over there. So this is a pretty good document if you guys want to take note of it, just so you have an idea of how to budget for it and what certain locations are really going to cost.
Also, adding into that, there are times that an FSO, some of them because they're retired and things like that have been problems. And we've had to deal with it because you'd have a different FSO coming each day and giving us different ideas. So the FSO isn't always, I mean, right there when they're in front of you, they are the word, okay? But there are times where they go over their heads or go over what their responsibilities are, just to let you know that sometimes happens, yeah.
Yeah, I want to go back to this fire case for a minute. I used to work for the City of Atlanta's home office, and there were indications on the front end delays from the time where if they were going to do fire expected step fire, that kind of thing, that's when you indicate it's going to be a fire,
Correct.
professional on set. And it was at the discretion of the fire department about when this was going to be.
Well, because at times you're going to have a birthday cake, okay? It's fire on the set. Yeah. 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 So just realize though that some of that stuff, and then what Matt was kind of talking about, again, the part that the PGA could be doing as well, and they may be already doing it, is starting getting some of these resources available, because there's an engineer named Wes Brown in Hollywood, in Redondo Beach, I think is where he is, and he's great. He's done like 80% of the engineering for movies you've seen where they have things like engineering the rigging for the 7 people from Minority Report to be picking up Tom Cruise and flying away with him. The back lot at Warner Brothers, and he did this. He does horizontal lifeline systems. He does all kinds of stuff. He's really great. And the best part about him, and I don't know what his costs are, but the best part about him is you don't have to spend an hour explaining what we do. And that's one of the hard parts, because he had done some engineering for a studio and came up with a cost for what it was going to do to put in horizontal lifeline systems. And they had somebody who wasn't a horizontal lifeline or a fall arrest engineer and wasn't a movie engineer, and they were $1 million more per stage, okay, than Wes's assessment. $1 million more per stage, okay? So finding the people that others use is a good deal, you know? There are people who understand what we do. They understand that when you say I need it tomorrow, they mean, 5 o'clock tomorrow. Those types of things you want to be a part of, okay? So multi-employer, or go back for a second. Oops. Okay, so one of the things about the evaluation of the industry we talked about real quick is the question had been asked about being able to find out who's bad players and stuff like that, and it's really difficult. But one of the things, which is not a requirement by law, but one of the things that I think would be a good idea is to have a post-mortem after a production, so that you, in your book, in your information about your program, you have these case studies of what has gone on. And you keep the information yourself as you go forward in your job, okay? And you're able to then maybe share that with other people and things like that. But it's really hard to do the evaluations. You're obviously going to do an evaluation if somebody slipped or was, I love investigating near misses, because it means that there was some problem and a hazard, but nobody got hurt. So if there's a near miss, don't blow it off. Well, nobody got hurt, so we're okay. No, somebody got close to being hurt. What do we need to do to correct it? Okay? But evaluations are a little bit difficult in our industry. Okay?
That's interesting. How many of you guys do
That's an interesting aspect to add to it, is doing that post-mortem and having that assessment as part of your wrap notes, that we've collected this information somewhere.
Yeah.
You start to move forward and,
Well, how many workman's comp claims did you have? What were they, but, because what were they for? One of the things that OSHA will do with logging is we all work in a big industry or a big building, and that room over there, every 3 months, somebody comes out with a broken finger. So that would show up in this evaluation, and at some point the safety committee we should go look and see what they do in that room and figure out why they're getting a broken finger. So that's one of the problems, that we don't have the ability to really do that, so we have to figure another way to do it, okay? Another way of how, what my hope is one of the reasons I like doing this is you guys aren't here because you want to be bad producers and hurt people. You obviously want to do the right thing. So the more people that show up like you and create safe work sets, the better this whole community is and the collaboration is for what's going on. Okay?